Hello everyone in Medical Scribe. I'm Tarar Haidar, student at Baghdad Medical College. In the previous video, we explained the bones of the fourth region in the axial skeletal system, which was the vertebral column, or the spine, and we understood almost all its important details. While today, our talking will be about the bones of the last region in the axial skeletal system, which are the sternum and the ribs. Those will form the thoracic cage. Firstly, we have the sternum bone, or sometimes we call it the breastbone. This bone characterized from the other bones by its long, flat, thin, and knife-shaped. And it will be found in the midline of the thoracic region anteriorly. And also, it will be composed of three parts: the manubrium, the body of the sternum, and the xiphoid process, which is the lower part of this bone. Well, the sternum will connect to the ribs by thin bands of cartilage called the costal cartilages. That means the sternum will be connected with the ribs by a cartilage called the costal cartilages. And that's enough for the sternum. Let's now talk about the ribs to integrate with what we said previously. The ribs are 12 pairs of long, curved bones. These ribs will attach the thoracic vertebrae from the back and extending anteriorly in a curved shape till reaching the sternum, where they finally attached. And these ribs will be classified according to their attachment with the sternum into three types: the true ribs, the false ribs, and the floating ribs. So firstly, we have the true ribs. These bones are 7 ribs, and they called true ribs because they attach to the sternum directly through the costal cartilages, and every rib has its own costal cartilage. While the false rib, they are the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th ribs. And they called the false ribs because they didn't have their own costal cartilages with the sternum directly. What happened in their case, all of them ended in one cartilage. Then this cartilage connects the costal cartilage of the 7th rib of the true ribs. And by this cartilage, they attach to the sternum but indirectly. So that's why we call them the false ribs. Lastly, we have the floating ribs. These are 2 bones, which are the last 2 ribs, the 11th and the 12th ribs. And these 2 bones didn't have neither direct attachment nor indirect attachment with the sternum. So that's why we call them floating ribs, because they float alone anteriorly and not attached with any bone. These 12 pairs of ribs, as we said, will be attached with the sternum, and by that, they are forming what we call it the rib cage, or the thoracic cage, which is considered as the skeleton of the chest. Finally, in this video, we will talk about the sternum and the ribs functions, or we can say the thoracic cage functions. So firstly, it will protect the vital organs inside this cage, such as the heart and the lungs. Secondly, it will provide a support to the shoulder girdle and to the upper limb. While thirdly, it can change its volume in order to enable the breathing process. And finally, it will provide an attachment points for many muscles. For example, the muscles that involved in the respiration, such as the diaphragm muscles. And also, it will provide an attachment point for the back, the chest, the neck, and the shoulder muscles. So these were almost all important details and a brief explanation about the sternum and the ribs, which are the 5th and the last region in the axial skeletal system. And that's it. I hope what I said makes sense. See you next video, and goodbye.